All right, welcome to week 4 of the John Jr. Draft League. We really need a win if we want to have a chance at getting into playoffs, but I'm going to be real, it's probably not going to happen. We are playing against Goose Jr., who is a mod for the JJDL, and his team is I believe they are the French Dwebbles. And so I'm looking forward to playing against Goose. He's a very talented player. He made it all the way to finals of the last league, and he had a really great team, played it really well, had a good run, and so I'm definitely not expecting too much out of my end, but I'd at least like to give him a run for his money. I've been pretty busy this week, so I don't even know if we'll be able to do that, but yeah, I'm just gonna try, play him well, and after how last week went, the main goal is just to not lose to myself doing something stupid, you know? I would like to lose to Goose, not to myself, if that makes sense. And what we are bringing, as you can see on the right, he has a pretty scary setup-oriented team with Ninetales there to provide some Aurora Veil support. It's going to be very hard for my team to really maneuver around this. I think that if Veil goes up, it's kind of just Jover. He can go into whatever sweeper he wants and just start setting up, and he may end up just like cleaning me up after that. There's also a Ditto, and so I can't bring my own sweepers like Baxcalibur. Bax just has a really terrible matchup in general, pretty much whenever it's on the field, unless I want to like hard read a Ninetales, switch in and click Ironhead. Ninetales can easily switch in for free, get that Veil up, and go from there. So yeah, the matchup is really rough. As you can see, we're not even bringing Baxcalibur. Just, I don't know, man. I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose, but I'm trying my best out here. Anyways, first we have Gliscor, Zoomer. Also not really the best matchup for this guy, but I'm scared of Ogerpon, and so we have Rock Tomb on this guy with EQ to kill Ogerpon after it takes some Stealth Rock chip. It's a guaranteed kill after I drop its speed by clicking Rock Tomb. Then I'll outspeed it and I'll be able to click Earthquake, and yeah, we'll just go from there. Other optimized EVs were put into FizzDef, and yeah, that's our Gliscor for this week. Next up we have Golden Go. Golden Go's here to keep the rocks up, ideally with Air Balloon, and Treads is probably gonna come Assault Vested this week if I had to guess. So that's a little bit unfortunate. We're gonna have to really work hard to get rid of it, but we do have Substitute on this guy in order to not have to really predict switch-ins. So for example, anytime Alolan Ninetales is out, I'm probably just gonna go into this guy and click Substitute, because there's no way Alolan Ninetales switches in. If he goes out into something pretty passive like Alomomola or Mandibuzz, then it shouldn't really be able to break my sub, and then I can just fire off some Flash Cannons or Shadow Balls from there and just try and do some general damage with this guy. If he can't keep the Stealth Rock up, then that's kind of okay. Ideally, Gliscor can come in onto Iron Treads if it doesn't have Ice Spinner as well, and kind of just sit on that thing and just keep putting the rocks up whenever it has to leave. So even if Mr. Feast does ultimately meet his fate to the hands of that Iron Treads, that's okay. I think that we should still be able to have those rocks up ideally. Thirdly, we have Brain Fart the Slowking. We have mostly Spadef on this guy this week with a little bit of FizzDef in order to switch in nicely on Treads. Additionally, we have to worry a little bit about stuff like Azelf, and so that's where most of this special bulk is coming in. I would have loved to have it be mostly FizzDef in order to help out with stuff like Terra Water Revavroom, because Revavroom is definitely coming Terra Water. Unfortunately, I have to worry about stuff like Azelf with Shadow Ball or Energy Ball, but of course finding that out is good info, so we'll see. We have Power Gem here to punish stuff like Ogerpon, Ninetales. I didn't really have a great other move I wanted to fit here. I wasn't too sure, and so I just decided to slap on Power Gem and call it good. That's the power of team building in like 2 hours, 4 days before the battle. And then we have Thunder Wave, of course, to slow some stuff down. I'm assuming he's going to be Lumberry on one of his big threats, probably that Rev-of-Room, and then Chilly Reception to get some momentum. Since we aren't bringing backs, our beneficiary of Chilly Reception this time is going to be Jolteon, holding the leftovers with Substitute Calm Mind. Ideally, this is going to be our win con because it is a sweeper. And if that Iron Treads does come with an Assault Vest, and we'll need to break it down significantly for this guy to work. The interesting thing is that even if Ditto is still around, I win that 1v1 because I have Volt Absorb, and he will be using non-stab Terra Blast in order to hit me, while I'll be using stab Terra Blast with that Terra Ice in order to be hitting him. And ideally, I will just be able to keep setting up Calm Minds and subs in that Ditto's face. We'll see. But yeah, the plan here is to break with everything else a little bit, hopefully get that Treads taken care of, and then we'll be able to go into Jolteon here and try and win the game if we are in position. Next up we have Lycanroc. This time we're holding a Mirror Herb. As I said, Goose has a lot of really tough setup sweepers. We have Rev-of-Room, Ogerpon with Swords Dance, Clangorous Soul, Como-O. There's a ton of stuff that can just click one button and then become super duper scary. And so we have a Mirror Herb here in order to try and copy some of those stat changes. Additionally, we have Psychic Fangs instead of Play Rough. I initially had Play Rough here because I want to break that Aurora Veil from Ninetales if possible. Stone Edge and Close Combat, of course, are just two really hard-hitting moves, and Accelerock is here to finish off Ogerpon, because without Accelerock I would be in a speed tie with that Ogerpon, and I don't want to risk losing that, and Accelerock will definitely help close out that thing's career. Additionally, something else that's pretty cool with this Lycanroc is that if you look at its 4 moves, absolutely nothing can hit Golden Go. And so say that I Mirror Herb like Rev-of-Room or something, and then Ditto comes in after Rev-of-Room dies or whatever, and steals my boost and everything and is threatening a KO back, then I can definitely just end up going into Golden Go and I'll wall this set completely. Stone Edge, Accelerock, Psychic Fangs do pretty much negligible damage, and Close Combat is of course going to do 0 damage because I'm a Ghost type. And so that's the idea behind not having moves like Crunch or Earthquake or anything like that, because I would love to run them, but a little bit more counterplay to Ditto is in order. Lastly, we are debuting KFC the Moltres with the heavy duty boots. Flame Body is here in order to try and get a burn on something. I don't even know what, to be honest, because I'm pretty much going to switch this guy in on Ogerpon often, and even if it does have Rock Tomb, we should be able to live it. It does like 72 max roll to me at neutral attack, I believe, and so hopefully we'll be able to live one and then U-turn out on that thing. But anyways, I shouldn't even be able to burn Ogerpon because it's a fire type. I don't even know what other physical attackers who I would really be worried about here, because Rev-of-Room, Terra Blast I'm pretty sure is also not contact, and that'll definitely blow me out of the water. But I needed something in this slot for the ability, and I just picked Flame Body because pressure's doo-doo. Anyways, we have U-turn for momentum, Roost for some longevity, Air Slash just in case I want to stay in on that Ogerpon if I'm feeling brave, and click Air Slash to try and do some big damage. And then of course Flamethrower to try and take care of that Iron Treads a little bit for Jolteon endgame. And yeah, that's about it. That should be our team. Pretty scary game, like I said, against Goose. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes south pretty early on, but you know, that's just how it is. I had 0 time this week to do any sort of prep. I'm going in raw, no mocks as well, so we'll just see how it goes. Either way, happy to be playing Goose. He's a pretty cool guy. He's one of the mods of the JJDL, and so he's in on all the inner workings of the league, and so we appreciate him and everyone else for running the league and keeping everything up and going. So Great guy, good opponent, skilled opponent. Pretty terrified, but I'll see you guys in the battle. Alright, here we are with our week 4 battle up against Goose. Interesting team that he brought. I'm very scared of it, to be honest. He brought all the big guys. He brought Ninetales, Ogerpon, Terra Reverum, Como-O, Iron Treads, and then of course Ditto is also going to be something that we're going to have to play around, but we do have some prep for it, so I'm not too afraid. Off lead, I think that I'm tempted to lead Gold, to be honest, into Ninetales and then sub as it switches or sets up Veil. I might do that. Ideally, there's no Iron Treads lead, because that's going to suck to switch into. Well, I guess I could just go Gliscor, actually, since there's no way he uses Ice Spinner into my Golden Go, so I think I am just going to lead Golden Go. I will reveal that we're Balloon a little bit early. Actually, yeah, that's true. Maybe I shouldn't reveal Balloon. Dang. Now I'm second guessing myself. I could just lead Slowking and Chilly Reception out on whatever. Or I could lead Jew. Yeah, I don't think I can reveal that I'm Balloon too early. I think I'll just lead Moltres into Ogerpon. Okay, so this thing could have a rock move. It could also just Swords Dance. Or it might also just switch, because I could have a flying move, and in fact I do. He doesn't know that it's not Hurricane though, and Hurricane should do significant damage to this. I think I'm just going to, I don't know, do I want to risk that this thing has a rock move? Because it could definitely Rock Tomb me here, and that would stink. That would frankly stink. Yeah, it will. And we're just going to U-turn out. U-turn out into, go Gliscor, I think. And I will drop a Rock Tomb of my own on this thing, or no? Because if he SDs right now and goes for a game, then I definitely should have Rock Tomb. I could also just get my rocks up. Alright. We get some super effective damage on this. It's not a lot, but that's fine. And now I'll go here. He sets up the Veil. He should either switch or try and break my Balloon. Either way, I'm going to substitute. Unfortunately that we had to take so much damage early on with Moltres, but I knew it wouldn't die in one Rock Tomb, so that's not too awful. Alright, interesting. So he knows my moveset now on this Golden Go. I don't see anything wrong with just throwing off a Shadow Ball, and so that's what I'll do here. He's gonna break the sub. Ooh, the balloon pops behind sup. That's a little bit unfortunate, to be honest. Right. Let's see. This is already not great for me. Already not great for me. He has, let's see, he has Aurora Veil up, so we'll have to account for that. How much does Brain Fart take? 47 to 55. Man, I may have to pick my sack. Dang. Already, I may have to pick my sack. This is tough. Do I just give up my Moltres, maybe? Let's see. Gliscor should switch in well enough into some things, so I might want to keep it around. The thing is, like, after I sack this, what do I do? I think I'm just going to sack Moltres here. Unfortunate that I have to do that so early, but that was some good positioning from Goose to get that Ditto in on Mr. Feast. And then I think after this, I'm going to go Gliscor and try and stall out some... Ooh, interesting. So right now, if I was burning Jealousy, that would be really cool, but unfortunately, I'm not. So then the question is, do I want to go Feet Sniffer off rip and try and get this Mirror Herb? How much do you take? How much does Gliscor take from Revavroom Terra Water? Revavroom, Terra Blast, type is gonna be water. It's gonna take 52 to 62 raw. And if it sets up, then that's also gonna be not great. How much did this Ditto take? 52. It's at 52. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to go here. If this dies to Terra Water, Terra Blast, which it could, depending on what he goes for, then that's not great. Okay, so we get the Mirror Herb, but the issue is he's still gonna be behind that Aurora Veil, which is not good. Yeah, I do like 33 to this max. Is my best interest to just Psychic Fangs this maybe? And break the veil. Yeah, right, okay. The issue is now that he outspeeds this, will a Cell Rock kill? up to 34. So unfortunately, a Cellrock is not gonna be able to kill this. I think that my play maybe is to get rid of Moltres, and maybe Brain Fart lives one. I should calc that. Man, I'm not too confident in my guys living any attacks from this thing now. This might just win, unfortunately, because I don't have enough priority. Let's see if Brain Fart will live one. He has a chance to live some things, but it's not great. If he's Gunk Shot and it connects, then it's not good. If it's Poison Jab, it has a very likely roll to kill in Goose's favor. So I may just need to take some damage with Accelerock and try and go from there. He's at 3 times speed. He's at 3 times speed. So he's gonna outspeed everything. Let's see how much Jolteon takes from this. Way too much because it's Jolteon. Why would I even bother to calc that? He's awful. Golden Go is a pretty good switch in. Or like a decent enough switch in. So what I think I'll do is I'll get rid of Moltres, and then I'll go Golden Go safely. Yep, so Terra Blast will take out the Moltres, and we'll go Golden Go here. And Shadow Ball does a lot. Could also try and recover, but I don't think that's too smart. Terra Blast has a very low chance to kill me here, so zero downside to just Shadow Ball. Alright, well, that's unfortunate. Well, now it may just be over, because Goose got the roll on that. Damn, that sucks. In my calculator, my Golden Go only takes 63 to 75, and I had 75 health, and it did exactly 75 damage. This may be a 6-0 goobing. Unfortunate. I have to hope that Slowking lives one, I guess, and that he doesn't have the coverage for it, but he definitely should. I'm just gonna get some chip. Lycanroc will go down. Then we'll go Slowking. This is unfortunate that we had to play this out this way. And Scald should always kill. And Gunk Shot, yeah, he does carry Gunk Shot. Well, that's unfortunate then. Looks like we're gonna lose this one 6-0. There's not too much I could really do. There's some good prep by Goose. Yeah, that's alright. I don't really think that I did anything too stupid. It's just a matter of I under-prepped, and that's because I had no time. And yeah, that's gonna be it from me here, because Jolteon's gonna die because it has 0 bulk. Well, unfortunate. That's just sometime how the cookie will crumble. Very quick 6-0 for me. That's pretty much going to secure me from getting into playoffs as well. Didn't really expect Revavroom to shift gear twice. Unfortunate, but that's the way that it goes. Good games to Goose. Good play from him. Alright, decent-ish play from me, but not too much else to say about that. I will see you guys next time. Alright, well, that was a pretty quick 6-0 in Goose's favor, but I'm not too mad about it. Ideally, I don't get 6-0'd, but, you know, I didn't end up losing to myself, which I think is improvement given what happened last week against Ursalyme, where I just completely lost my mental after, like, what, turn 2 or 3 or something like that. And I lost to Goose outright. I lost a little bit to RNG. We'll get into that a little bit later, but I lost to Goose, and I'm okay with losing to Goose. I should lose to Goose. I'm not nearly as good as Goose. And so I'm okay with that. Long story short, he and I talked a little bit in the Discord server after the battle, and he said that he was pretty surprised to see that I brought Gliscor. And his reasoning, which now that I think about it is very, very sound, his reason he was surprised was because every time that Gliscor's on the field, if it doesn't U-turn out, Ninetales comes in and gets an Aurora Veil up for absolutely free. Ninetales, since it sets up the snow for itself and it's an ice type, it has some actually like pretty high physical defense. Even though like the sprite looks all nice and pretty, you'd imagine it'd be like frail or whatever. It's pretty hard to take down. And to be honest, I should have definitely had U-turn on this Gliscor for that reason. But I didn't consider that. Or maybe I should have just not brought Gliscor, but I really wanted the rocks for Ogerpon. And so I think my logic for bringing Gliscor is somewhat sound. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely should have had some momentum on it, or just like hard switch or something like that. Because he's absolutely right. Every time that my Gliscor comes in, Ninetales should come in, and it'll get that Aurora Veil up for free. So yeah, that's a bit of a miscalculation on my part. And then obviously my Revavroom matchup here is just god awful. But you know, it is what it is. We'll get into the replay here now. There's not too much to really talk about. I think that eating this Rock Tomb right here was actually okay. I think I kind of wish that I would have attacked there instead of U-turning out into Gliscor, because obviously that set up my downfall. He went Ninetales and he won the game from there. But if I had just taken some damage on this thing, there was like absolutely no reason. There's not much really that Moltres does to this team, other than Fire Move into Iron Treads, which is what I was most concerned about, because I knew I would have to break down this Treads in order to try and win with Jolteon or something like that. But yeah, unfortunate that I didn't just click Air Slash there, but live and you learn, right? And so our Gliscor gets poisoned, as it should, and yep, he just goes to hard Ninetales, and this Rock Tomb, as you can see, it's super effective, but it does 0 damage. That did like 20%. And so he gets his Veil up for absolutely free. Ditto comes in, and I do a decent chunk to Ditto as he switches out into Revavroom, which is a really good play, I will say, because he knows that I'm switching out here. He absolutely knows that I'm switching out here. And so he's just going to go hard into Revavroom and Terra Water and start setting up, which is amazing game sense coming out of Goose right there. And so we go into Lycan Dusk here, and we are going to proc that Mirror Herb, but unfortunately we're not going to be able to kill in one hit. And he's just going to set up a second Shift Gear. Now he gave me the Revavroom set that he was using afterwards. It was actually surprisingly bulky instead of speedy. And so even at 2 times speed, and with him being at 3 times speed, my Lycanroc, I believe, outspeeds this Revavroom. I am max speed on this Lycanroc, and so yeah, definitely should have outsped, but of course in the moment I had no way of knowing his EV spreads, and so I decided to sack the Moltres and end up going into Mr. Feast, which was, I think, the right play in this position. There's no way I risk my main form of breaking against this Revavroom, calling it to not be faster when it has an additional 2 speed boosts on my Lycanroc. So I think I made the right play by going into this Moltres. He's going to click Terra Blast, Moltres is going to die, and then Golden Go comes in and dies to a Terra Blast. That is really unfortunate for Golden Go, because again, we gave each other our teams afterwards, and I decided to throw the calculations into the calculator, and the calculations of the calculator, they said that I lived that Terra Blast most of the time. That Terra Blast had around a 6% chance to kill me, and unfortunately it did. So I got pretty unlucky there. I'm not saying that that would have changed the outcome of the game per se, because I definitely still would have lost to this just looking at the 2 teams. But maybe I wouldn't have gotten 6-0'd. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have gotten 6-0'd. Mr. Feast would have lived on a little bit of HP, would have done most of my health, but not all of it. And then I would Shadow Ball and take out this really scary Revavroom that ends up killing the rest of my team. And yeah, that's kind of just how the cookie crumbles. It's not Goose's fault that he got lucky. It's not my fault that I got unlucky. It's just how RNG falls, and yeah, it's unfortunate for me, but again, I'm not winning this game anyways, so ends up not really making too much of a difference. And right here I click a Cell Rock just to try and get some damage and bank on the fact that Slowking can live one hit. But of course, he hits his gunk shot and Slowking will go down, and that's pretty much wraps. Because this Revavroom goes ham. As I said, my matchup was pretty terrible and I couldn't really prep for it because I had 3 tests the day before this battle, but you know, that's how it works. Real life comes first. But yeah, next week we end up playing the scariest team in the league. We're up against Bope, but we'll see if we can make something work, because nothing worked here, unfortunately. I'll see you guys then. Go Slashers, have a good rest of your day.